Chairman Peterson, Vice Chairman Thomas, and Ranking Member Humphrey, members of the committee. I am Paul Sisk. I come from Hamilton Township, Warren County, Ohio, District 55. I want to begin with a quote. If you're reading, it's not in my material. I think you need something fresh. It appears that I could not do your job sitting all day listening, and how you do it, I want to commend you. I don't know how you can absorb it all and hold it all in. I think your posterior is probably speaking to you.
We have padded seats. You in the audience do not, so sorry about that.
A nice luxury. Blanchard said, whenever you're making a presentation, state the issue simply, handle objections fairly, drive a strong conclusion. Most of the things that are in my testimony have been covered, so I'm not going to spend time reading it to you. I know you say thank you very much, but I do want to convey to you, as you should see from these people who have given up their days of work, as have I've taken a day off of work, and the hours that have been spent in preparation and rehearsal for this day. To me, this is not about labels. This is about patriotism and country and doing the right thing. This is why my vote counts, and this is why I'm here today. My specific remarks are intended to dispel the claim that a Article 5 Convention of States would create a runaway convention. And things from that would result in a loss of Bill of Rights or, in fact, our entire Constitution. And, of course, you've already heard comments about that. My sources are the same, Dr. Ferris, Dr. Nicholson. An Article 5 convention for amending the Constitution is just simply about 50 states getting together, convening a meeting, and talking about ways that we can make America better. Amendments. This is how we're supposed to do it. Multi-state meetings and conventions have been going on for years. In fact, more than 350 years. And in the 40 multi-state conventions that we have on record in America, none have resulted in a runaway convention. Not one, not even a hint of one. Zero. In the case of Article 5 conventions, there are 9 safeguards to ensure that we are meeting the intentions of the framers of the Constitution. I'm just going to hit them briefly. First order of business is to elect the right leaders. It's up to you. That's why we elected you. You choose the leaders. We're counting on you. Do the best you can. You choose how it works. We're counting on you. Safeguard number 2. Opposition claims that delegates will have plenipotentiary, that is, unlimited power of the convention, and that's not true. They only have the power that you give them. If you give them the power, then you are responsible for what they're going to do. So the onus is on you. Number 3. Well, let me go back to it because I think this is important to state. This HRJ 3 states that a convention of states for proposing amendments to the Constitution of the United States convened pursuant to this application shall be limited to consideration of the topics herein specified and no other. So whatever you choose, right, your delegates are going to only be able to talk about that thing. All right, and my safeguard number 3 is there's no provision in the Constitution for replacing the Constitution. It's ridiculous. Number 4, in order for an amendment to become officially proposed at a convention, 26 states have to vote for it. And since 34 plus states will have requested the convention, then there's no way an amendment for rescinding any component, for example, of the Bill of Rights. That could not happen. 26 states getting together, you know there's no way that that could happen. The 34 plus states that requested the convention would never vote for it. Number 5, if by some means an amendment was proposed that fell outside of the scope of the convention and what your delegates are supposed to be doing, Congress would be obligated to select a mode of ratification, and then the process would stop. It would kill any invalid proposal. Number 6, the Constitution stipulates that after an amendment is officially proposed at an Article 5 convention, it only becomes part of the Constitution if it's ratified by 38 states. We've already heard this argument. Number 7, if a delegate were to violate their duty or their instructions, they can be recalled. And in HJR 3, it states the Ohio General Assembly may provide further instructions to its delegates and may recall its delegates at any time for a breach of duty or for a violation of the instructions provided, end quote. It's there. Number 8, in many states, their resolutions requesting an Article 5 have explicit limitations on the delegate's authority. And because this is in the resolution, I'm going to read it. Quote, the application is made with the express understanding that an amendment that in any way seeks to amend, modify, or repeal any provision of the Bill of Rights shall not be authorized for consideration at any stage. This application shall be void ab initio if ever used at any stage to consider any change to the provision of the Bill of Rights, end quote. And the last safeguard is that states can pass statutes pertaining to Article 5 convention delegates faithfully following those instructions. For example, Indiana has passed legislation with this provision, quote, a delegate or alternate delegate who knowingly or intentionally votes or attempts to vote outside the scope of the instructions established or the limits placed by the General Assembly commits a level 6 felony. America has a rich history of multi-state conventions, more than 40, over 350 years, never had a single case of a runaway convention, not one, ever. And I've given you some safeguards here to ensure that an Article 5 convention complies with the Constitution. I have to tell you that we are all concerned, and you are too. You're an American. You're an Ohioan. You read the papers, you hear the news. We're all concerned about our future. I got 4 little grandbabies. I'm concerned about their future. I want them to grow up in the kind of America that we have grown up in, to enjoy the same benefits and privileges. And if we don't pull back on some of the things that are out of our control at the moment, we're not going to see that become a reality. I think it is time that we exercise our constitutional rights to restore justice, discipline, and order to our republic. And I'm asking you to help us by supporting HJR 3. And I am grateful for your service.